Okay.
All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Geek Weekly podcast. I am your host, Lesley, and today's very special guest is Lauren.
Hey everyone.
What's up, Lauren? How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so glad you could be here with us today.
So glad to be here.
All right. So, Lauren is a very talented singer. She the Clovers and Co shows. So Clovers and Co. Lauren, would you mind just explaining what Clovers and Co is?
Yeah. So Clovers and Company is a completely like student run band, basically. It's a show. So it has vocalists, it has band members, it has dancers, production crew, sound and lighting. We're obviously supervised by a group of volunteers and the wonderful Dr. Bo, but every single part of the show is run and orchestrated by the students, which is why it's so cool and unique.
Yes. So Lauren is one of the vocalists, and I personally love watching Clovers and Co shows. I remember the first Clovers and Co show I saw. I That was back when I only knew you, Lauren, as the girl with the lipstick.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
the only way I knew
cute.
who you were. Is was just the really talented girl with the lipstick. Whereas now I know you as Lauren.
Yeah, like we're friends. I love that.
So, how did you discover your love for singing?
Oh gosh. Probably church. I mean, I grew up in church and I've been that my whole life. So I've done like VBS, which is like the summer camps,
Yeah.
and you always sing there and you see the people on stage singing. And then I was put in theater camps for the woman that I currently work for, actually, which is why it's super cool. But she had theater camps every summer, and I did the theater camps. It's like a Orphan and Annie or like a Oompa Loompa and Willy Wonka. And that just built me to the point that I'm at. But Clovers and Company definitely was like the source of the confidence that I have to perform.
I that is just so like Clovers and Co is such a talented group of people.
Absolutely.
Like the work that goes into those shows, I could never. Like it is so amazing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. We have like two rehearsal weekends and then we go like straight into it. So it's trial and error for sure. But I love everyone. They're like my best friends.
Don't y'all have a show this weekend?
Yeah, we do at Waycross.
I wish I could come. It's I live 4.5 hours away though.
Yeah, it's definitely is like on the southern border of Georgia. So it's like a
Mhm.
farther show for a lot of people.
Yeah. So what other ways have you been involved with 4-H in your 4-H career?
So I wasn't truly involved with 4-H until I joined Clovers and Company. I kind of just like coasted through the meetings like a lot of people do. Ninth grade is when it like really hit for me
Mhm.
because I got first at DPA for general, performing arts general. And so then I ended up going to state congress and like just that process of being more involved than just like senior conference or DPA that really like sent me into, okay, this is 4-H. Like I met so many people at state congress, like Jay and Carter, that like became such good friends the next year. And I was like seeing all the people who were really involved. And I just really go off of other people's energy a lot. And so like seeing that these people loved it so much was like, okay, there's something here for me. Like there's something here.
Yeah.
And I love the competition part of it. I love the people aspect. And so I did that in ninth grade. In 10th grade, I kind of kept up with that. I mastered in drama last year, which was
Very
crazy,
fancy.
crazy. Like it was such a great experience. And I also two events that were just like really, really cool for me was one Georgia, which is like a program within 4-H that you have to apply for and be accepted for. And I just loved going with like an intimate group. And we went from like Vidalia to Savannah to UGA. And like we like went in their vet school and like I held a pig brain. It was so cool. And like SRTLC and Like now I was accepted to be a national conference delegate. So like I feel like this year is like the year that I'm like really going all in because
Yeah.
it's the first year that I really know what's going on. And like someone actually told me, hey, these are events, these are awards you can apply for. And I was like, oh shoot, okay.
You're like, I'll do it.
Right. I'm just kind of throwing myself into everything. And if it happens, it happens.
Yeah. I love looking at it that way. Like, just try out for everything. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. Like, there's
Right.
still other aspects of 4-H. Like, there's a lot. There's something for everyone. There truly is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So, how long have you been in 4-H? Which you kind of just answered your when you really started in 4-H. But like, did you ever do it as like a junior?
Yeah, I joined 4-H in fifth grade when it was like mandatory. But I was my class president that year, my club president for
Oh, I
that.
love that.
Yeah, I like I shot archery. Goodness, I can't talk. Shot archery until like seventh grade. That was kind of kept what kept me in it was like shooting archery and like junior conference. And
Hmm.
that was like my extent. So technically 7 years, but I didn't really do much in seventh grade. So like six.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, So I am going to open up the question box from Instagram, which I had people submit their questions for you, and we got a good bit of them.
That's so cute.
So, okay. What is your favorite animal, Lauren?
Oh, I hate that question. It's so hard. Um, I've had a thing ever since I had the American Girl doll named Lainey because she looked like me. I had these like little cut bangs across my forehead,
Yeah.
much less cute than they are now. And she had like a Samaritan orangutan.
Hmm.
I think I said that right. Anyway,
Oh, I remember
orangutan.
those. I
I
remember
love
her.
those. Yeah, they're super cool.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Do you have any specific colleges you are interested in attending?
Yeah, I was talking to my friend Natik at National Congress this year, and
Mhm.
he basically sold me on like going to Georgia Tech. So I'm definitely looking towards Georgia Tech right now.
Nice, nice. Okay. This is a fun question. I like this question. If given an opportunity to have one fictional character speak at a 4-H event, who would you choose and why?
Oh my gosh.
And that question
Oh
is
my
from Crosby.
gosh. No, that's so hard. I needed like advance for this. Okay. Um, oh my gosh. I'm trying to think quick. I'm trying to think about my favorite books, but they're kind of sad. I feel like a really good fictional character would probably be
Say it again.
I feel like a good fictional character would probably be I feel like a superhero, you
Yeah,
know? I feel
yeah,
like they would be I feel like they would give a really good like motivational
I
talk.
think so. What superhero do you think, Lauren?
So hard.
Or
Um
just any and all superheroes?
any and all, but
Any and
I
all.
want to say Spider-Man because he's funny, and I feel like that
Mhm.
really applies to students. But I feel like that's so basic.
I think that's a good answer.
Okay,
I think Spider-Man would be a great person to have come speak at a 4-H event. Just
yeah,
like next year's Fall Forum, just Spider-Man just shows up.
right. Like imagine.
All right. What influenced you the most growing up?
My parents definitely like my parents in church. I mean, they raised me like super like not like a controlling way of Christianity, but just like,
Hmm.
they raised me with Christian values and like that's what I've like taken on for myself. And so that's influenced me because I mean, I feel like your morals and your values influence who you are as a person and the way you live your life. So definitely how my parents taught me to love and like what my parents showed me of how I should be in response to that. And all that kind of went back to, their values in the church that like became mine eventually when I came to believe that too. So I would say that that's definitely influenced me the most.
I that is just such a great answer. Like I fully agree with what you just said. All right. What is your favorite book coming from Gracie?
Fault in Our Stars.
Nice.
It's so good. And I've read it 7 times and I cry every single time. So good.
Wow. I've never read it.
I'll give you my book.
I'm currently. Oh, that was so loud. I'm sorry. All right, hold on. I'm trying to find the other ones. Okay, here they are. Okie dokie. So, what are your plans? This is what are your plans after college?
Ooh. Um, well, right now I'm kind of on like the regenerative medicine track for my life,
Ooh.
which is like something that was introduced to me like through One Georgia in 4-H. But I'm thinking that I would start after I attended like a graduate school and I got my degree because like I want a PhD, so I'm gonna be in school for a while. But
Yeah.
I was thinking about, going into a lab and like just doing a lot of research and helping work on a project, whether it's like a cure for something like Alzheimer's or like how to make bones heal faster or like healing head trauma, like all of that goes into the profession. And I just really want to work to find a cure or a solution to things that don't have that right now, or a more efficient and a faster way to fix certain like diseases or like illnesses. I think that'd be really cool. So I want to research and get
I
to talk
that
about my
is such
findings.
a cool thing, dude. Like that I I'm speechless. That's such a great answer. Okay, this question is from Eliza, and it is what's the hardest part about being on Clovers?
Ooh. Probably just like adapting to it and like getting into it because like the first 2 weekends, it's like you're auditioning. It's you audition to get in Clovers, and then you audition for like the vocalists, audition for parts and songs and like solos. And so the hardest part definitely is like once you get in there, like getting your solo and like learning the stage and learning the choreography. And like most of what's so cool about like the vocalist side of Clovers is that they don't just give us harmonies for the songs. The majority of the harmonies that you're going to hear are student created and are student led. So like we found those harmonies and we taught each other. And so like the hardest part is just putting everything together and putting it in place and making everything sound good and making sure you
Yeah.
remember it, because we have a show like once a month. So we're
Mhm.
not practicing until hours before that show once a month. So it's just making sure that everyone knows their part and can commit to it in the way that we're supposed to.
That's genuinely so cool. I never knew that it was like the students came up with like the harmonies.
Yes, like we did a commercial at junior conference, like a commercial where all of the narrators, so everyone with the speaking part, there's like 8 of us, we came on stage to practice. And Dr. Bo was like, okay, guys, y'all need to create a commercial to advertise to these juniors to make them want to join Clovers. And we're like,
Hmm.
okay. So he just walked away and we created our little commercial and we pitched it to him. So yeah, they give us a lot of freedom, which is part of what makes it so cool.
That's I didn't I'm not what sorry. I was gonna say I didn't know that y'all had that much creative freedom.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
yeah, that's insanely cool.
And I
Okay,
can't
this
speak
question
for
is
like everyone else, but definitely the
yeah,
vocalists.
yeah. All right, this question is also from Eliza, and it is what is your favorite song in this year's Clover show?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Probably I really like oh my goodness, what's it called? I like our closer song, like not the very last song, but the one right before it. And it's from All Shook Up. It's a really good song. I also really like Found Tonight, which is like a mashup of a Dear Evan Hansen song and a Hamilton song. And I'm like a
Yeah.
big musical theater nerd. So like I love that one. I don't have a solo in that one, but just like it's so cool. Like there's such like a bonding moment between everyone during it. And it's like a casual song, but the harmonies are also really tight.
I all if all of the show all of the songs in this year's Clover show Coming from someone who's only seen 2 years of Clover shows, this one's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's so good. When I
Last
saw
year's
it at
was
Fall
solid,
Forum,
but a lot of the songs were older. So I feel like this one is a lot more relatable to like the audiences that we're performing for.
yeah.
Yeah.
Last year's show, I first saw a Clover show at junior conference last year when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And like life changing. That was the first Clover show I ever saw. And then getting to see one at Fall Forum, like I looking forward to the Clover shows every 4-H event because I just know like it's always going to be different. And it's
Yeah.
just always so cool.
I love that. That makes me happy.
All
That's definitely what you want to hear.
right. This is another question from Eliza. Oh, I don't have my glasses. All right. Would you say you need a strong voice in order to be in Clovers, or does it help build vocal control?
No, definitely like anyone, any type of voice can be in Clovers. So like me and Ella Perryman sing a song, Everybody Hurts Fix You, which is like a really emotional song. And like her voice specifically is like super just like light and pretty. And she doesn't really belt in Clovers. She has like a really light and pretty voice. And it works so well for the song because you have like the powerful song moments, but you also have like the quiet, like emotional ones. So you need a variety for sure. For sure.
That song with you and Ella when y'all are the ones singing, dude, actual tears. Okay. like like
Yeah, I
that
was
is
really happy to be on that song because it's just so like powerful and like a really like quiet way.
yeah. Okay, this question is from Bella and it says, "What do you love most about the singing and the dancing?"
Mm, I just love performing. I've really fell in love with performing ever since Clovers, and like I've carried that into like my one act and like my chorus, and I love seeing the dancers like dance around us because they're so much better than us. Like the choreography that we're doing versus the choreography that they're doing. It's like it's crazy.
It's
And they're
so good.
so good. So I love watching them and I love seeing how like our words and like their dance movements work together. It's super cool.
I again, Clover shows are just so good. like I
Thank
highly
you.
recommend anyone who has never seen a Clover show should go watch a Clover show cuz like even if you're not in 4-H, just show up. like they are honestly like one of my favorite things ever is
Yeah.
Clover shows. Okay, this question is from Crosby and it says, "What was it like having to be interviewed for Clovers and Co?"
Ooh. So my first year was in eighth grade. And so that was my ninth grade year was when COVID hit. So I was auditioning for my eighth grade year. And so I did that in person. They really just like feel out your personality when you're talking to them. They really don't ask you that many questions like interview wise. It's mainly just like a hey, how are you? Like, tell us a little about yourself and then sing. And in person was like crazy scary as a like seventh going to eighth grader. But
Mm-hmm.
then my ninth grade year was over, I think over Zoom, not over Zoom, a YouTube audition because especially returning members got to do that virtually. But now, ever since COVID, like it's all virtual. So there's no actual like interview portion. It's literally just your voice. So like auditioning, you just put your best foot forward and hope for the best.
Yeah. So wait, interviews were in person before COVID?
Yeah, auditions were in person. I remember watching like drummers audition too. It's yeah,
That's so cool because I know it's all like online now. Like it's a whole form and stuff, and like
yeah.
everything's online.
Yeah, everything's online, which takes a lot of pressure off of it too, because you can, if you mess up, you can just refilm it.
You
So
can
that's
just
nice.
yeah. Okay. This question is from Mary, and she said, "Didn't your county win y'all state comp for one act? That's so cool."
Yeah, we did. Yeah, actually, we did 9 to 5. This is the first time that we've won state in like 30 years. Second time ever. It was That's the best day of my life. I loved that. That was so good.
See, I'm not okay. I love musicals. Like I would not call myself a theater kid solely because I've never been in theater. I've taken a couple classes, but I've never been like in theater.
Yeah.
I was as a dancer when I was younger. But still watching people's one acts, like their like Instagram stories of their one acts, like that whole like month of everyone like competing was like so entertaining.
Yes, dude, it was so great. We worked so freaking hard to get there, and I just felt like we were constantly changing things and constantly like making improvements and like watching other people's shows to see how they did it and see how we can make it better
Mhm.
and like spend money on lighting and mics and sound. Like this year was our year. Like we knew that if we tried hard enough, we could get it, and we did. So
And you did. Okay. This question is, what is your favorite piece you've ever performed with Clovers and Co?
okay, probably Everybody Hurts and Fix You. Because this year is like the first year where I've had like more than one solo, and it's the first year where my solo hasn't been upbeat. Because like last year, I loved my solos. Like I got the closer song last year for one of them, and it was really fun. And it was a song from Kinky Boots, and I loved performing that one. It's like my second favorite. But then Everybody Hurts Fix You is just it's so pretty and it's so like different from most of the songs that we perform, and I
Mhm.
just love it.
I I think that that song also your voice complements it very well.
Thank you.
And um yeah, I think that's part of why I think in Clovers part of why the show is so good is because of how everyone's voices and like the music complements each other.
Yeah. And I really like that they give us that second audition because it's them taking the time to learn our voice.
Mhm.
So, like, they saw that on my sheet and they're like, "Are you sure you want to audition for that one? Like, we have found tonight that we think you would sound good on." I was like, "No, I want that one." And so
Yeah.
I auditioned with that piece and they're like, "Well, we didn't know you could sing like that." And I was like, "So I auditioned with
Exactly.
it."
um this question is from Adriana and it is Clovers and Co very competitive?
Oh, to get in, yeah, like especially for like the in instrumentalists, there's only one of each. So I would say that's like highly competitive.
Mhm.
Um the vocalist spots obviously are, but there's just so much room for so many people that I would say like it's a little less competitive just because there's more than one of each part and stuff. Once you're in it though, after auditions, like no. Like after that you're just performing. I will say that like if you can really outperform people and like you're putting your best self out there, they're going to see that. So like when someone's out, your name is going to be put in to fill in their solo. Your name's going to be put in to read their narration. Like next year, you're going to get more solos because you proved yourself.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely about like putting your best foot forward all the time, but it's not like competitive inside of it, I guess.
Was it hard to join?
I don't know. I don't know like who
That
my
was the
competition
follow-up
was or
question for
anything
that.
that year. So like I just went into it. I guess I think I had like a lot of people like graduate the year before me, so I was really lucky
Mhm.
in the case that like a lot of spots were now open. It really just depends like year to year what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna edit this little part out of me this what I'm about to say, but I am gonna do um my I can't speak. Oh my god. I'm gonna ask you a question for like the trailer that I post on Instagram and TikTok,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna do my outro.
Okay, cool. Bet.
Okay. So this week's question is, um, do you eat or do you drink soup?
What? um, you eat it? I think
That's such a random question, I know.
that caught me so off guard. I was like, okay, 4-H question, let's go. And then I was like, nope, not
No, no, a soup
4-H.
question. A question about soup. All right. So another question we got was this is from Emily, and it is what's your biggest advice for someone applying and being interviewed for national conference?
Ooh, okay. So my biggest advice is make every question count and make every answer meaningful. you don't want any answer just to fall flat or fall short or just kind of barely meets what it
Mhm.
takes. You want to appeal to their emotions somehow. You want to show them that it means something to you. And I don't really know if that makes sense, but like especially in my in-person interview, I made sure that like everything I said was meaningful. Everything I said I seemed like really into, and I made sure that my answers were things I was really passionate about, and that I turned the conversation towards those things, and just showed that you were like, making advancements to go. Like I interviewed my state representative, my district representative for the state. I interviewed him about youth issues because that was one of the qualifications in the interview was addressing youth issues. So I went and talked to him about it, and I told them that I did. So it's showing that like I took the initiative because I want to
Mhm.
be here and I really want to go. Um, but yeah, and especially like just to get there, just your application process, just make it sound intelligent and meaningful and emotional to you, and make sure that it's coming from the heart, because if it is, I think it'll be obvious to people.
That is such another amazing answer. Like you're filled with such great answers, Lauren.
Thank you.
All right. So here is one of the most important parts of the show. And in Lauren, what do you geek out about?
I was thinking so hard about this one because I like, what am I like really passionate about? And I think
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I kind of come up with self-awareness, um, because I think that it's so important, and it kind of ties into mental health about like knowing where you are and being able to read your emotions and take care of yourself and take care of your emotions before it gets to a place that's like detrimental to you or like
Yeah.
other people around you. I think being self-aware is so important because you constantly have an effect on others. And so being self-aware doesn't mean that you're a people pleaser, but it means
Mhm.
that you're staying true to yourself while being respectful and kind, and knowing that like what how you feel isn't always something that needs to be said, or is like if something isn't constructive to a situation, it's being aware of that and trying to like hold yourself back, which
Yeah.
definitely isn't a perfect process. But self-awareness also means knowing when, oh, I should not have said that, or that was
Yeah.
kind of unnecessary. Like, did I need to say that about that person, even if it wasn't inherently bad? Was it still gossip? Like, did I need to add on to this conversation? And then like going back and be like, okay, I'm gonna try not to do this again. And that's just really important to me because it doesn't always work out, but at least it's like I just think it's so important to be self-aware because our actions always affect other people.
Hmm.
And I think so much more than we know. And people say that, but it's like until you really just start thinking about it and focusing on how you feel, what you're saying, what you're like pouring into yourself, what you're pouring into others, I think that's when it really starts making a difference.
I think that is a great answer. That is so cool that is something that you're so passionate about because I mean, mental health is such an important part, like making sure that you are okay. Like it is as important
Absolutely.
as your physical health.
Absolutely. And that's something that I've been like, I mean, 2022 was like the worst year for me mental health wise. I struggled
Yeah.
with a lot of different things, like struggle with an eating disorder and things that like followed along with that. And the
Hmm.
best thing that has really happened to me is getting into therapy. Like
Yeah.
I used to go to therapy like weekly. Now I
Hmm.
go like as needed, and it's just such a good option. Like there's such a stigma around it, but like right now I'm, pretty much, in the recovery process of that. I'm good. Like I'm in a good place mentally, but I
Yeah.
still enjoy going to therapy. Like I go to therapy next week. Like it's just such a good thing, and it's really healthy, and like I don't think anyone should ever be afraid to ask for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so great. I do think that therapy can be extremely beneficial for people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is I and self-awareness is also a very important thing to have. Um just, making sure that you're doing what's right and making sure that you're, not I don't know, like not yeah.
Yeah, like
Essentially what
taking
you said.
responsibility for your actions. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's extremely important. And yeah, I'm I'm so glad to hear that you're doing better with all the
Thank
therapy, Lauren.
you. Thank you, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lauren, again, for being here with us today. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's listening or watching. Um, Thank you. I'll see y'all next week. Have a great week. Bye, everybody.